Good evening. I would like to call to order the August 17th, 2021 Little Rock City Board of Directors meeting. We would also like to welcome those in attendance as well as those that are watching online at home or streaming. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Director Hendricks, Director Richardson,
Here.
Director Webb, Director Peck, here, Director Wright, Director Wyrick, Director Compuris, Director Phillips,
He's here.
Director Adcock, present, Vice Mayor Hines,
Present.
Mayor Scott.
Present. Let me now take this time to recognize City Director Kathy Webb, who will give our invocation.
Please join me in we pause for a moment and lift up our children, our teachers, who ask that they and all our residents, as we consider the issues before us, both tonight and then the days ahead, let us remember and find guidance from the words of Ryan. Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot, courage to change the things.
Amen. May we all please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. Director Wyrick, you have a request?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Do you have any cards on 18 or 19?
I do not.
Okay. I asked to have this separate last week because I wanted to talk to the neighborhood that's adjoined this property, and I've had a conversation with them and they have no issues. So I would like to add this back to the grouped items. That's 18 and 19.
Second.
There's a motion to add 18 and 19 to the grouped items. There's a second from Vice Mayor Hines. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, we have one modification for tonight's agenda.
Mayor,
Mr. Moore.
as this is added, item that 20 next set of recommendations. So instead of adding this to the consent, I would just recommend this becomes item 21.
Madam Clerk, this modification, M1, if approved by the members of the City Board, will be notated under item 21 and not a part of the consent. There a motion?
So move.
Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the consent agenda.
The consent agenda consists of a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Presidio Networked Solutions in an amount not to exceed $3,397,042 plus applicable taxes and fees to upgrade the Cisco network core infrastructure and increase cyber security technology for the Information Technology Department and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Redstone Construction Group Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $6,752,363.78 for the North Rodney Parham Road reconstruction project and for the purposes funding from the 3/8 capital improvement sales tax. A resolution to express the willingness of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas to utilize Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism Outdoor Recreation Grant Program funds to authorize the mayor and city manager to execute any and all necessary applications, agreements, and contracts for its administration and for the purposes. A resolution to set September 7th, 2021 as the date of public hearing to consider the issuance of Port Authority revenue bonds in a maximum principal amount of $1,300,000 for the purpose of financing capital improvements at the industrial park at the Port of Little Rock and for the purposes a resolution to amend Little Rock, Arkansas, resolution number 15,518 of August the 3rd, 2021, to correct and to clarify the primary intended uses of a portion of the first tranche of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas's allotment of local fiscal recovery funds through the American Rescue Plan Act and for the purposes. That concludes the consent agenda.
Move for the adoption of consent agenda.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the group items for the first time.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Interstate 430 Planning District between Interstate 430 and Shackelford Pass, just north of West 36th Street in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, from mixed use to commercial and for the purposes. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Ellis Mountain Planning District on the north side of Canis Road, approximately a quarter mile northwest of Kirby Road in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, from residential load to commercial and for other purposes. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Chenal Planning District on the southeast corner of Kirk Road and Wellington Hills Road in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, from mixed office commercial to commercial and for the purposes. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned commercial district titled Avalani, sorry, I couldn't see that. Enterprises PCD, located at 17,524 Canis Road in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Brady Creek Lot 127, revised PRD, located at 44 Deerberry Forest Circle in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned office district titled POD, located 1850 South Ringo Street in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Village at the Gateway Phase 8 PRD, located at the west end of Big Rock Avenue, south of Alexander Road, in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zone map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Village at Gateway Phase 9 PRD, located on the south side of Alexander Road, immediately east of 13,103 Alexander Road, in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. First reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on second reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Interstate 430 Planning District between Interstate 430 and Shackelford Pass, just north of West 36th Street in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, from mixed use to commercial. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Ellis Mountain Planning District on the north side of Canis Road, approximately a quarter mile northwest of Kirby Road in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, from residential load to commercial. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Chenal Planning District on the southeast corner of Kirk Road and Wellington Hills Road in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, from mixed office commercial to commercial. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the City of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development and establish a planned commercial district titled Avalani Enterprises PCD, located at 17,524 Canis Road. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Brady Creek Lot 127, revised PRD, located at 44 Deerberry Forest Circle. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned office district titled Pier POD, located at 1850 South Ringo Street. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Village at the Gateway Phase 8, PRD, located at the west end of Big Rock Avenue, south of Alexander Road. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Village at the Gateway Phase 9, PRD, located on the south side of Alexander Road, immediately east of 13,103 Alexander Road. For second reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Interstate 430 planning district between Interstate 430 and Shackelford Pass, just north of West 36th Street in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, from mixed use to commercial. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Ellis Mountain Planning District on the north side of Canis Road, approximately a quarter mile northwest of Kirby Road in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, from residential low to commercial. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Chenal Planning District on the southeast corner of Kirk Road and Wellington Hills Road in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, from mixed office commercial to commercial. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned commercial district titled Aviolani Enterprises PCD, located at 17,524 Canis Road. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Brody Creek, Lot 127, revised PRD, located at 44 Deerberry Forest Circle. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned office district titled Pier POD, located at 1850 South Ringo Street. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned residential district titled Village at the Gateway, Phase 8, PRD, located at the west end of Big Rock Avenue, south of Alexander Road. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development and establish a planned residential district titled Village at the Gateway, Phase 9, PRD, located on the south side of Alexander Road, immediately east of 13,103 Alexander Road. Third and final reading.
We've now had three readings. Are there any questions? Now had three readings. Are there any questions? Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read item number 15 for the first time.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Geyer Springs East Planning District, approximately a quarter mile north of Baseline Road on the east side of Scott Hamilton Drive in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, from residential medium to commercial and for the purposes first reading.
Is there a motion?
Suspend the rules and place on second reading.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Geyer Springs East Planning District, approximately a quarter mile north of Baseline Road on the east side of Scott Hamilton Drive in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, from residential medium to commercial. Second reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the Geyer Springs East Planning District, approximately a quarter mile north of Baseline Road on the east side of Scott Hamilton Drive in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, from residential medium to commercial. Third and final reading.
We've now had three readings from item number 15. I do not see any any cards for item number 15. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay.
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 Ayes have it.
We didn't have any cards, Mayor.
Roll call.
No, sir. Card. Sure. There are no cards for item number. There are no cards for item number 15.
And I'll ask that, Mayor, because last week we asked for presentations from staff, and I see residents here who are in opposition have been in contact with Director Wyrick and myself who are in opposition of this. And I think staff, and I've had some conversation with Jamie, Mr. Collins, and staff is in opposition of this kind of development. There is a need and desire for the development in this area, but this is not particular kind of development that staff is supportive of. So I'm surprised we didn't have any cards. Okay, thank you. No, I'm not in support of this, and I think we have residents from that area who are in opposition here who before the meeting spoke with, said they filled out cards for this, and we'd have a presentation last week from Mr. Collins on this item. And I think that although it passed at the planning commission level, and there's a desire and a need for some kind of development in that area, I think staff and its expertise doesn't believe this is the kind of development.
Director Richards, I think we do have some members from that I think you may be referencing that have signed up for item number 16 and not for item number 15.
Well, I think it's both, sir. Upper baseline.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
15 and 16 are together.
Right.
So that's the reason why we got to get to the 16.
Mayor, let the record show and reflect that my vote is no on that.
Yes.
And we probably need to do a roll call.
Director Adcock already has.
Okay.
We were just allowing for questions. There's been a roll call. Madam Clerk?
Director Pack? No. Director Wright? Director Wyrick?
No.
Director Compuris? Director Phillips?
I'm sorry. No.
Director Adcock? No. Director Hendricks? Director Richardson?
No.
Director Webb? No. Vice Mayor Hines?
Nay.
Item number 16.
And I don't know if this is a Dr. Collins question or attorney question, but I believe that if 16 failed, 15 failed, then 16 is moot.
Correct.
Understand 15, 16 are tied together.
Right.
And therefore, the defeat of one would make the other one a moot question.
Yes.
The question.
That's my history. If the land use plan is not amended, then the next item to reclassify the property is moot.
That certainly makes sense to me. All right, I agree with that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Moore, for that clarity.
Item number 16 is moot. We'll now proceed to item number 17. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to approve a plan zoning development, establish plan district industrial titled Levy Concrete Plant PDI located at 8806 Mableville Pike in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes first reading.
Move we suspend the rules and place on second reading?
Second.
And before we move to suspend rules for second reading, I want to make sure everyone's aware of what's happened. Item 15 was read 3 times. We took a voice vote. We heard yay voices. And then after there was some explanation and also a roll call vote, explanation from City Director Richardson and a roll call vote from City Director Adcock, we then took a roll call vote, and the roll call vote had all no's. And so with 15 being the land use plan and tied to item number 16, item number 16 failed or it's moot. And so we're not taking up item 15 failed. By the virtue of 15 failing, item number 16 became moot. Moot meaning we will not be considering item number 16 because you can't consider item number 16 without item number 15. So that's why we have proceeded to item number 17. We've had the first reading on item number 17. There was a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, second reading. For item number 17.
An ordinance to approve a plan zoning development, establish a plan district industrial titled Levi Concrete Plant PDI located at 8806 Mableville Pike, Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes of second reading.
Move we suspend the rules and place on third and final reading?
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, third reading.
An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned district industrial titled Levi Concrete Plant PDI located at 8806 Mableville Pike. Third and final reading.
We've now had 3 readings. Brad Suen. You're here to speak for this item number 17, Mr. Suen? Or is it Sheehan or Suen? Suen, thank you.
Yeah, all I've got to say is I bought Levy Concrete almost 2 years ago. We're the majority of our business is in Little Rock. City of Little Rock is one of our customers. We're looking forward to move to a new location with a new plant and serve the city of Little Rock better.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Suen. Jesse Griffin, here to speak for.
Jess Griffin, 5 Kingston Drive. I just, were there any cards that were against?
There is.
I have questions for you.
One second, Director Adcock. There is a card that's against. Director Adcock, we generally let the speaker speak, but we definitely have you signed up to ask a question. Would you like to ask him a question?
I just would like to reserve my time just to respond to any
Well, we go in.
I needed to.
We go in order, and so you're next to speak.
I'm the engineer for the project and applicant, and we're trying to put a plant there. It's already zoned industrial, and I think that use fits very well. It's close to the highway department. It's close to the freeway. We want to be as least impactful to the road system as possible and get to the freeway where it's, you know, the best weight loading, and it's built for vehicles like this. And so I think this is a good location to have it, and it fits an area that's highly industrial.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Hugler, to speak against. And we'll come to you, Director Adcock.
Thank you.
And then Director Warwick after Director Adcock.
Good evening, Mayor Scott, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm here to speak against it. I've lived there all my life. We've already had one cement plant there on the corner where the Harley shop is. It was loud, it was dirty, it was dusty. I'd like y'all to vote against it. And bear in mind, he's talking about the road infrastructure. That is one of the worst intersections in southwest Little Rock trying to get through, period. People speed, the speed limit's 40, they do 50 or 60. Now we're gonna pull out with a cement truck. Who wins that argument? Cement truck wins every time, whether it's loaded or empty. And how many trucks a day are they gonna run through the baseline I-30 intersection? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hugler. Director Adcock.
Yes, I would like to have Mr. Collins come forward, please.
Director Collins, if you would come forward, please.
Jamie, I would like to look at the maps, please, at how close residential is to this site.
Give me a second, I'll have to pull that up.
Mayor, there are 2 subdivisions close to this. I think you are very aware of Town and Country subdivision, which is close to this, which I believe that is where your home is. And then also the one right closer to it is the one in the picture over on the left. Jamie, I had asked that this picture tonight show the portion of this that was going to be the concrete.
We did revise that. There was exhibits. Well, I didn't pull up with that, but there is a buffer that's on there that's going to remain undisturbed. Something up front.
Secretary, that was, it was sent out Friday, and I'm not sure if you received it or not, but.
It's attached to our online agenda.
Okay, I wanted the public to be able to
Well,
see it.
if we can zoom in a little bit, I can tell you about where the line is. If we can zoom in about where that LI is. Everybody see the LI in about the center of the hatching area? Just to the right of that or the east, that is approximately where that line is. It's a small area. Also to the north, left about a third of the property to the north, and about from that LI back to the east is where the property is, or that site plan. That is the area that is being rezoned.
Okay.
The rest of it is not. It is staying as is, undisturbed at this time.
At this time, that's what concerns me at this time, because at the time that they decide to expand this, and I believe in our write out or the one you sent me, it stated that they could do increase this, which that would send it over right behind these houses. Also, who did you notify at the highway department?
We notified the district engineer, Mr. Mark Headley.
Okay.
They are in that office, the offices of the DOT just south of the property. And in speaking with Mr. Headley, he forwarded it up to the main corporate office. And the word that they got back was they had no response. Everything was okay.
Okay, the gentleman that just spoke, he lives over here where it says Derby Lane. And then we have mobile homes in this area. We have houses in this area. And as the gentleman said, concrete trucks are very loud. Back years ago, before your time and lots of people's time, over on Gower Springs Road, there was a concrete company called Razorback Concrete. And it was right straight across from my house. I can tell you they're very dirty. They're very loud. They leave about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes they work late and sometimes they work on weekends. So are there any hours of operations tied to this applicant? And not only hours of operations, but day of the week?
To the right of.
I couldn't find any on it, anything I received.
The hours of operation was going to be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. That's the office, the shop. The plant itself is 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Okay, at 7 to 5 hours of operation, does that mean they cannot leave the site until 7 o'clock?
Be on the site at 7 o'clock or 7 p.m. What are you talking about? In the morning at 7 a.m.?
7 a.m. You got 7 to 5. Does that mean they cannot leave the shop until 7 o'clock?
It means operation can start at 7 o'clock. That means if the plant is coming, and I don't know the exact operation of a concrete batch plant, but they're going to have to dump the stuff in the trucks to mix it, before it goes. So that is operation. So they cannot start that operation until 7 o'clock or 6 a.m. in the morning, that operation. And then whenever that's ready, then they can leave.
So if they have 15 or 20 trucks, you can have 15 or 20 trucks next to a neighborhood because they have to mix that concrete, and that's very loud.
That's at 6 a.m. That's when they can start. If you're asking if they can start before then, they can't start before that.
6 a.m. they can start mixing it.
Yes. That's when the operation can start.
How close is this? Here a couple of weeks ago, we was talking about barking dogs. I think this is closer to these homes and lots of those dogs. And that concrete is very loud when it's mixing with all that gravel and all that other dirt and sand and everything. And this is right at the back. Or it could be if they expand this after a few years.
I'm trying to pull a measurement, approximately.
What is on that property now?
Right now, it's on the property is vacant. property that you're looking at right now.
It's all wooded.
Yes, all wooded.
Okay, I cannot support this by that neighborhood and another neighborhood and mobile homes all in that area. Because that, with all the trees and everything, this is gonna be very loud on all that community. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I can't get the distance to pull up.
Thank you, Director Adcock. Director Wyrick?
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with Joan. This is too close to neighborhood residences, and at 6 a.m. in the morning, it would not be the first thing I'd want to hear is mixing concrete. This is a PDI, and I'm curious to know, in this PDI, if they're not, where did Jamie go? I'm talking to him. Sorry. I was looking down at my paper. So, this is a PDI, Planned Development Industrial.
That's correct.
Okay. And so, based on this proposal, then the only thing that he's approved to do is, and it's in this particular area, I guess based on that site plan that's I received in the mail, more to the east boundary, there's a site plan with parking and I don't know, different things in that location. I'm assuming that based on this being a PDI, this is the only thing that he can do.
That's correct. This one is specific for a concrete plant. So that's specific use.
Okay. And so I can't tell from this picture that I have here how much of the property is left going to the west. I know it's more focused to the center or to the east, but he is not able to encroach on any of the other land that's tied with this application.
That's correct. Right now, it's about 13 acres. It's going to be left over from what that tract or that developed area that is going to be rezoned. They are allowed through our ordinances to increase part of that development by about 20% in area or their use area, but it's inside that developed area. So say if they wanted to increase a building, that's inside that site, that can be done. But when you zone a specific area for this planned development, it is within that area. Any expansion outside of that area that we talked about, that 6.82 acres, would have to come before the planning commission and then come to the board for approval.
And there's a 50-foot buffer on the south side.
That's correct.
And I do not believe that a 50-foot buffer, even if it does have some trees in it, is enough buffer to cover up the sound of trucks and concrete mixing. So I think this is just too intense for the neighborhood. They need a break over there. It's a fragile area. So I'm not going to be supporting this.
Thank you, Director Hines.
This question is for Jamie, and then I got a question for the engineer proposal. So when Director Wyrick first told me about this, I was under the impression this plant was going to be set back further to the west, but this looks like it's right on the east, so it preserves over more than half the property to the west as a buffer. And then, Jamie, the facility due south of the dot, what's on the map right now, that's all highway department buildings, correct?
That's correct. And that's why we sent them the notice and talked with them directly.
All right. And so the other question I had is a concrete plant an allowed use in the I-2 zoning that exists?
I'll have to look that up real quick. I believe it is listed in the I-3.
Okay.
And I don't believe it, I'll pull it up real quick and see in the I-2. Apologize, it's pulling up slowly. As concrete batch plant is not listed specifically as a use in there. In I-2.
Director Hines, do you have another question?
Yeah, this would be for their plant engineer.
But we would fall underneath the I-3, which would be along somewhere around the quarry type, stone, sand, gravel use.
Gotcha.
That's where we'd see that it'd fall under.
And since this plan development industrial, so are they doing anything extra that they wouldn't normally do under a straight up rezoning as far as landscaping, buffering, that type of stuff?
If recommended for approval and approved at the board, they would just have to do it per the standards set forth for landscaping. And for this one, unless something specific was thrown out there as a condition of approval through the process, it would fall generally under landscaping per industrial districts.
Okay. And then because it's a plan development, any changes to business hours, anything that other than what we approve would have to come back to the board, correct?
That's correct.
All right. That's all the question I have for staff. I have a question for their engineer. So I have a couple. So what's the distance from the back activity, I guess, where the mixing is going to be done? Is it done on the south side of the property? I can't, it's hard to tell from this schematic that's up.
We're locked in at that 6.82 acres. And from that acreage line alone, it would be $790 feet. Then we have an additional 50 foot more of wooded buffer. And the trees are like 50 feet tall. They're very old. It's an undeveloped site and it hadn't been touched in a while.
Okay. And then on the southern 50-foot buffer that you're talking about, are you going to try to leave the trees preserved in that area as well?
No, it's floodplain land. I mean, it would take a lot of work to develop any of the remainder of the property.
No, I'm talking about what I'm looking, well, you can't. I'm looking at the sketch. So you're 50, what I'm asking about is the 50-foot buffer on the south end of where you're rezoning that backs up to the highway department. Are you going to preserve the trees in that buffer?
Yes, our intention is to keep the trees between the highway department and our development.
Okay. And then is there anything new or different since it's a new plan about maybe what's different than your old plant?
I mean, it's going to be a newer, nicer plant than what they have. That's one of the reasons we're finding a new location and doing a new plant. Also on the footage, the actual spot where the batching and all the noise will be, it's at the very front and it's closer to Mableville Pike.
So it's on the kind of the northeast edge. It's the thing where I see conveyor.
Yeah, it might be 1,500 feet, maybe even more from any from the residential neighborhood you're talking about over on Denby or whatever. What's the road over there? So it's in the very east of the property. So you come in the gate, and then right when you come in the gate, immediately is the concrete plant.
And then your shop and everything else is to the south of that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the shop and the batching is all right up front, and then the rest is just for like aggregate storage or just parking vehicles or we left some room actually for expansion within the 6.2 acres because when we gave them that acreage, I knew we were locked in. So, but I figured there was plenty of buffer for any noise or of the neighborhood. I would bet the neighborhood probably gets more noise from the freeway than they would from us.
All right, thank you.
Director Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just a few questions for Director Collins. And I just want this to be clear for the record. But did the Planning Commission approve this application, Director Collins?
Yes, they did.
Did the staff suggest approval of this application?
Yes, we did. Because it was a change from light industrial, lighter industrial to a little bit heavier industrial. And I just want to confirm also with the distance, I finally got it to pull up. It is the 600 to 700 feet from where the western edge of the property, where they're looking to rezone over to the residential, that's to the west.
And last kind of set of questions. I know we saw the drawing, but this entire tract is 20 acres, correct?
That's correct. That's why you would leave a remnant of about 13 acres.
So 13 acres undisturbed the way it is now, and they're only going to use 6 acres approximately, correct?
Approximately.
That's all I have. Thank you, Director Collins.
Director Adcock, did you have another comment?
Yes, Jamie, if you bring the picture up again, please. If I'm not mistaken, the last thing you see on the right of this picture is a building. But if this extended out another inch, there's a mobile home park there, correct?
If you're talking on a Mapleville Pike?
On Mapleville Pike.
Yes, there is. I think if, I can't remember if it was on the land use plan previously, but there is a mobile home park.
There's a mobile home park just on
you
the
can
other
see it.
side of this long building, which is a trucking terminal, I believe. And then next to that, there's the mobile home park that sits there.
Yeah, as you go back to the east on Mapleville Pike, it'll turn back to the north and it's right there.
And there's other houses in across the street from that mobile home park. So the picture doesn't show all the residential in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Adcock. Seeing that we've had all our questions from members of the board, from the applicant, and from staff, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Nays have it.
Present.
Nays have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read item number 20 for the first, item number 20.
To state the additional intended uses of a portion of the first tranche of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas's allotment of local fiscal recovery funds through the American Rescue Plan Act and for the purposes.
All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it.
I didn't have a motion or a second on that.
Oh,
Move to approve.
there's a motion. There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, please read item 21.
A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with True Point Solutions in amount not to exceed $821,000 plus applicable taxes and fees for software information technology upgrades for the Finance Department, Purchasing Division, and the Planning and Development Department, and for the purposes.
The adoption of resolution.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. We're now going into citizens communication. Mr. Luke Scrable.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the privilege of exercising my First Amendment rights. Last time I come up here, I pointed out that I wasn't too impressed with all the slick political ads. Now we got a second one from Hank Kelly. Problem is with these slick ads is they're deceptive. They're not real precise and they're not honest. This new ad thing I don't like about it is you're talking about the infrastructure, renewing and investing in infrastructure. When you look on the website, Rebuild the Rock, you divide that 76 million, you divide it up into something we need. 41,750,000 into street resurfacing. In the slick ad, you show somebody resurfacing. But some of the poor, single parents out there, the ones that are going to be most hit for 10 years, taking extra money out of their pockets, Mayor. Now, you got on the website programs that are going to go to the underserved. But some of the single moms that I've been talking to, they're asking me, you know, who is the underserved? The one thing that you don't explain is it's not defined who is the underserved. So a lot of these people are going to be paying for 10 years and they may not benefit from these programs. That's dishonest. One of the big problems I don't like about your big spending, you got programs that are being indoor sports complex are going to cost $45 million. They're supposedly going to take 4 years to build. The Daily Olympic Pool, 8 years to build. Rebs men's soccer field, 4 years to build. That's if they're on time. Then once we build them, they're not free. Now these poor single moms are going to be taking money out of their food budgets. This time next year, after Christmas, if this tax passes, they're taking money out of their clothing allowances to take their kids to school. This is hurting the poor taxpayers, Mayor. I don't know if you thought about that. The poor parents can't afford this extravagant tax.
Mr. Scrable, your time is up.
Yep. What's going to be up, Mayor, is a lot of those poor taxpayers.
Mr. Scrable,
When
your time is
tax
up.
hurts their pocketbooks. That's what's going to be up. Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scrable.
Thank you, Mayor.
Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Director Wright?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to exercise my right as a board member to request that the board go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Second.
Mayor.
Was that a motion? Motion on the floor.
Once,
I second the motion. Was that a motion, Mayor?
yes, ma'am. Mr. Moore, you want to make a comment? There is a motion and a second on the floor.
There are two reasons for the board to go in executive session to discuss a personnel matter, and I think that's what Director Wright just motioned. And the only two individuals that you all can discuss is the city manager and the city attorney. So I think that if that is going to be the board's decision, I think you have to state what the purpose of the executive session is.
Director Wright?
Well, Mayor, I don't mind stating it, but Director Phillips did not state that last time when he asked you to go in executive session, discuss the personnel.
I think that's accurate. I didn't intend to be brought into this, but I think that's accurate. And
there, and Robert's Rule of Order states that there is a motion on the floor that's been properly seconded, and we need to call for a vote.
Mayor, again,
Everyone,
Mr. Moore is out of order, Mayor.
everyone calm down. There's a motion and a second on the floor. Director Wright and Thank you for acknowledging, I guess, Director Phillips. I was not aware of that. I don't recall that, but he has acknowledged that he did not state the employee. Do you mind stating the employee of either being either being City Attorney Tom Carpenter or City Manager Moore?
City Manager Moore.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter regarding City Manager Moore. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now go into executive session. IT, if you would please secure the room. For purpose, put us live. Everyone, for purposes just to understand, our sign language professionals are not available due to technical difficulty, and want to make sure we're aware of that, but we will be brief. We're now back in from executive session. We were in executive session, no action taken. A motion to adjourn. There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Adjourn.